Hello everyone! It's morning. I am just getting my day started. Okay, almost afternoon, but don't judge me. That's just how we roll these days. Before we dive into this amazing epic book haul that you're seriously going to go wild for, can I just be your reminder for the day to get your greens in like I am? Ah, shoot, are my teeth green? And the easiest way to do that is with Bomar Nutrition, which brings in today's giveaway. I am so happy to announce that I'll be doing giveaways with Bomar every month for a whole year. Not only can we read books every single day, but we can make a healthier us. Who wouldn't want that? So subscribe so you don't miss them and tune in when you can. Bomar will be giving the winner their choice of greens and Sharp. Two of my favorite products that I use almost daily. This tub of greens has 13 fruits and vegetables in a single serving, and Sharp helps with mental clarity. It's really great for days when you need to focus more than usual, and for international folks, yes, this is open to you as well. You can win a $70 gift card for Bomar Nutrition's website. There are two ways to enter. The first one is be subscribed, comment down below and include your Instagram handle or Twitter handle so I can contact you if you win. And for 5 extra entries, you can make a Bomar purchase, use my code HollyK at checkout, and show me proof of your order in a Instagram or Twitter message, and you will get 5 extra entries. This giveaway will end on May 1st. All info will be in the description box below, and I wish you all the best of luck. Now on to the rest of the video. So I really didn't think I'd be doing another book haul so soon, but I have a big enough stack for one already, so I figured we might as well do this. I have 10 very exciting books here.
You'll regret that.
One not so exciting as I DNF'd it, and the March Out Crate, which I can't wait to see what's inside. So let's jump in. I'm going to start with the beautiful arc Rebellion Publishing sent me, and that is 7 Deaths of an Empire. This promo copy has the tagline on the cover, "The Emperor is dead, long live the Empire." This is a new grimdark fantasy for fans of Anna Smith Spark, George R.R. Martin, and Mark Lawrence, the whole grimdark lineup. It's following 2 characters, a general and a magician, as they are caught in this empire absolutely fueled by war. The story begins in such an interesting way, with the death of the emperor and his body must be safely returned to the kingdom so the next descendant can be crowned, and you can imagine the importance of that action. The environment is inspired by ancient Rome, and I think it's going to be a good one, so be sure to write this one down, add it to your Goodreads. It releases in June, and it's giving me such good vibes. Also, the spine is really simple, but it's really cool. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the books that Orbit sent me, which I'm so very grateful for, and the first one is The Jasmine Throne. So this author's previous series was a big hit among a lot of people. It was a desert fantasy romance, and well, she's kind of sticking to the romance again, but a sapphic romance between 2 women. One a captive vengeful princess, and the other a priestess hiding as a maidservant, and they both become unlikely allies to save an empire that is on the verge of war, all with the backdrop of Indian culture. I've heard this author writes in a very imaginative way, very beautifully, and this will be my first book by her. I'm so excited to dive into her new epic fantasy. It's the first to a duology, which I think is perfect because this thing is a chunky beast in arc form, and arcs are typically thinner than the finished copy. So is this gonna be like Priory of the Orange Tree big? Maybe. And again, just a fantastic cover. It's seriously like the book haul of beautiful covers. That's probably the title of this video. The Light of the Midnight Stars. I'll admit that the biggest part about this book that drew me in the most was its cover, but that was how this author's previous book was for me, The Sisters of the Winterwood, and full transparency, I didn't like that book, but I am always willing to give authors a second chance, especially when the writing is well done, and it was the story that didn't work for me. Obviously, we have a very different story here. I'm still very much expecting that same magical realism element to be present, as it is a historical fantasy full of Jewish folklore. It's following a rabbi and his 3 daughters and the magic that they have within them. I do want to get my hands on the audiobook and probably follow along with this physical copy because I just feel like I'll be able to fall into the story better that way, especially with such a rich sounding history and legends intertwined in the story. Honestly, audiobooks are really saving me this year. I just can't focus reading by myself anymore. I basically need someone to read to me as I see the words as well. My brain is basically back in like toddler form is what I'm saying, and I'm okay with that. This just came out, so you can get yourself a beautiful copy just like this one. For the wolf, you have probably seen this one going around Twitter or Instagram lately because people are so excited for it, and I'm excited for it, especially since I have started it and I'm really enjoying it. I can't wait to get more into the story. It's being compared to The Bear and the Nightingale, so you can already tell with that information what kind of story it's going to be, maybe even how the writing will be like, the atmosphere it's going for. In fact, just by looking at the cover, you know it's going to be a Little Red Riding Hood retelling, but with an eerie twist. We have twin sisters, Red and Neve. While Neve, the first daughter, is destined to reign as the future queen, while Red, the second daughter, is meant to enter the treacherous forest to be the wolf's sacrifice, whatever that means. Total 5-star potential here, and I have a really bad tendency to put off books I think are going to be favorites. We're not doing that with this one, so review to come from me probably maybe in May, around its release date maybe, which is in June, I can't decide. And lastly from Orbit, I have The Obsidian Tower, an adult fantasy that came out last year during the unknown stages of the pandemic, so a very rough time for an author releasing a new book, and with its sequel coming out later this year, which recently got a beautiful cover reveal, Orbit offered to send this one over, and I jumped on the chance because I've been interested in the series for such a very long time. It's basically about this black tower that is full of secrecy. It is surrounded by ancient magic, and it's following a character who is a warden who is meant to protect this door. Well, obviously something happens that unleashes this darkness on the kingdom, and you know, the plot goes from there. I absolutely adore this cover, I adore this story concept, and I really think I'm going to love this one, so I should be reviewing this one soon also. I'm really picking up my reading lately, so I'll be getting to this one very in the near future. Very in the near future, you know what I'm saying. So next, Tor sent me a couple books, and the first one is The Black Tongue Thief. So I had absolutely no idea that this book was even a thing like a month ago, and when I saw this rad cover on Twitter, and once I found out, I was in on it. And then to get it in the mail, like, my depression ceased for a moment. This cover is seriously so freaking cool. I love that it looks like a sketch, and then you have this contrast of yellow. I adore it. I really hope it doesn't fall into the same scenario as The Fate of the Fallen did, where it had a really cool cover that you could just die for, but then the story literally killed you with boredom. Also, this book sounds like it was written for me. Like, this is the stuff I love. It's why I wake up in the morning or afternoon. We have a thief who is a part of a guild. There's knights, witches, assassins, pirates, even dragons, all mixed in with humor and a colorful cast of characters. And this is actually the author's first book in fantasy. He has written in the genre of horror, so this is so interesting. This releases in May, I think at the tail end of May, so not far away at all. And Tor also sent me Star Eater. Are you looking for a book full of cannibalistic women? Well, look no further. This is a sci-fi fantasy horror mix, and if we know anything about sci-fi horror, it's that is the scariest type of horror known to man. Just ask Twitter. It takes place on a desolate planet where cannibalistic nuns rule a city. When nuns reach a certain age, they're preserved alive and then eaten slowly. The main character is part of this order, and she is horrified by it. Honestly, if you're looking for a synopsis that is different than anything you've ever read, this is it. I really think this is going to hit the market swinging when it releases on June 22nd. I am so excited for it. Near the Bone, which Berkeley Publishing sent me. This is a new thriller hitting shelves this month, and it's definitely one I can get behind. It honestly hits a lot of my checkboxes. A survival story about a woman trapped on a snowy mountain in a cabin with her husband when there is something possibly monstrous lurking out in the woods. The cover to this is what really grabbed my attention. It just screams like horror isolation, and I mean that fits most of our lives right now. It's very rare for a horror book to scare me, and though this probably isn't going to be like, I don't know, like your jump scare kind of book, I think it takes more of a psychological aspect than anything else, and honestly that can sometimes be all you need. Angry Robot was kind enough to send me Composite Creatures, another horror dystopian on the shorter side, but is leaving a big impact on readers. It's following a couple who adopt a pet of some sort who is a genetically modified creature. Sometimes I am just in the mood for an adult dystopian, and this sounds like a perfect recipe for when I'm craving it, which is now, honestly. I think the mystery here the author is setting up is going to be really gripping. That's truly all I know about this book. The mystery of it is what is intriguing to me, and I feel like it's a book I want to go into without really knowing much, so this is perfect. Also, the cover is so unique. It really looks like it was just sketched right on the paper. And then Macmillan offered me a copy of Spell's Treble. The PR package for this was actually really cool. It actually came with this leather notebook with embellishment on the cover. This is honestly one of those notebooks where I don't want to write something stupid in it and then ruin it. And it also came with these 3 candles that don't smell like anything and a crystal. I am ready to put a spell in the world. So I thought this one sounded really interesting. Obviously, it's a witch paranormal book. I believe it's YA, following twins who are basically gatekeepers of this town. They are descendants of the founder of this town as well. That's really all I know about it. It also seems really short, like something I could fly through and read in between like my more darker reads. This does come out in May, so just next month, and if you are interested in it, it is there for you. And then lastly, I have Bones of a Saint, which was sent to me by Soho Teen. If you watched my currently reading video, then you know I was reading it, but I ultimately decided to DNF it. But I still really wanted to show it off in this book haul as it may catch one of your interests. For me personally, I had a lot of problems with it. Oh, first, it's about a young boy who is with a gang, which he isn't exactly prepared for as they make him do things he doesn't necessarily want to do. It is a contemporary, and as someone who doesn't read that genre, I was aware that it might not be for me, but I'll never just like put a giant X on a genre because you never know when a book might just blow all of my expectations out the water, and this just wasn't at all what I thought it was going to be. The writing is very baseline, I guess, and there's a rape joke in the first chapter, lots of like titty and jug remarks, and it was just weird in that field overall. Sad because this cover is great, but everything else was bad. Okay, so we have gotten all the books out of the way. Now let's open the March Out Crate, which I'm a rep for, which means I get a box sent to me every single month to show you the goodies inside, which always includes a new YA book, and you can use my code HOLLY on your very first subscription, which I always highly recommend. The theme for this box was of witches and wonder. Well, I got my candles and crystal ready for this theme. The first thing I'm seeing is this giant box. To celebrate the unique beauty found in each of the 4 seasons, we've created a special limited collection of drinkware. I feel like they announced this on their Instagram and I always forget. And I think I even commented on it saying, oh, I hope it's like a goblet or something. It is not, but it's still super cool. It just has this design and quote on the front, and then you open it, has a little lid. It's all tin-like. Very nice. Let's go ahead and move on to the monthly pin. Always look forward to it. And it is a cauldron. Magic has consequences. I love the purple and silver together. This pin was designed by Icy Designs. And we have another box. Ooh, it smells really, really strong. And I think it's perfume. Blackberry, sage, and cypress. So it's like a little rolly ball. Ooh, that smells really good actually. I could be really picky when it comes to perfume. It's like I went into like a pine wood forest and rolled in all the pine needles. That's exactly what it smells like, but it smells really good, like in a positive way. We have another really pretty box. I had a bit of magic to your morning brew with this tea bag. Ooh, Darren's really gonna like this. I always give him anything tea or coffee related. Oh, I was so confused. It's not actually tea. Okay, so it basically holds like your tea bag or your teaspoon. So it's like a plate, and it has a quote on the inside. They actually included something very similar to this, like a little dish that I keep candy in. So now I just have another candy holder. Just put this in a different room with more candy, and my life is complete. Up next, we have a bookmark holder, which is really interesting because I've never gotten a bookmark holder from Outcrate specifically. They've included like book sleeves, which is really cool. You go out on a picnic, you need to keep your bookmarks safe because obviously you need to bring more than one because you're bringing more than one book. Magic is desire made real, and it has a pretty butterfly on it. Up next we have this, which actually surprised me. I thought it was just going to be like another notebook, but it's actually a sketchbook. It has blank pages. And it's actually really nice thick paper. I hate sketchbooks that have thin paper, but this is actually a really nice heavy grade stock paper. Good job, Outcrate. Here is what the art looks like. It is so pretty and it feels really nice and smooth and it feels like very great quality. Also, this was designed by Talia Skiles. Okay, we have come to the monthly book and it is Sweet and Bitter Magic. I'm actually super excited for this one, even though I'm not the biggest reader of YA fantasy, but when I find those hidden gems, man, I will preach those books out to you. And I have really good feelings about this one. The cover is absolutely beautiful, and even though, you know, romance isn't my thing, it is a romance between two women, and like, you don't get those very often. So they're always just like extra exciting to finally read about. And also we have purple sprayed edges. The entire book just screams femininity, and I love it. We have an author letter, and it also comes physically signed. And obviously this is about witches, as the entire theme of the box was witches. Also, here's the back. I love this landscape, and I forget what the original cover looks like. Okay, so they just added like a more purple, like dusk kind of vibe to it. So here is the difference. This is the original and this is the Outcrate edition. And that is it for this box. So if you want to check out next month's theme, which is Ruthless Rivals, I'm very unsure if this box is still available because this video is going up pretty late, but you can go ahead and check. You can use my code Holly on your very first subscription and try to get it, but again, not sure if it's still there. Every box will include an exclusive bag of coffee from Fable Grounds Coffee. Very exciting. Oh, and that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I do want to take the time to apologize for my uploading being a bit sporadic. Times are hard for everyone, and sometimes you just need to take a step back, evaluate, which is what I've been doing, but these new books definitely sparked excitement in me again, and I always appreciate your support so much. So do not forget to enter my giveaway. Everything will be explained to you down below if you need an extra read through. Subscribe if you haven't. I upload videos every single week. Follow me on Goodreads, my social media, which is on Instagram at HollyHeartsBooks and on Twitter at HollyNiece. And until we meet again, happy reading.